Dear colleagues, thank you very much for the opportunity for sharing to you some issues of strategic and global, might be strategic and global importance regarding the reshuffling of the existing model for national, regional and international healthcare services. On behalf of European Association for Predictive, Preventive and Personalized Medicine in Brussels, International Society of Personalized Medicine, Tokyo, Japan, and Personalized Medicine Coalition, Stanford, the States, it gives me really a genuine pleasure to cordially welcome you at a meeting illustrating the positive outcome of consolidated efforts to let Arabian countries to move ahead much faster. Over the course of its history, medicine has given special attention to the already diseased individual, focusing on a type of a disorder rather than one's health or the so-called pre-illness conditions, the latter being left in the shade. The link that might exert reliable control over morbidity, mortality, and disabling rates and significantly reduce the cost of treatment for those who had fallen ill has now been available and would sound as predictive, preventive, and personalized medicine. This is a fantastic illustration on 24th National Institute of Health, Bethesda, Maryland, the first workshop on PPPM, illustrating the viewpoint of Delphi's oracles. To achieve the implementation of a new model, PPPM, it's necessary to create a new strategy based upon the pre-early, subclinical recognition of defects long before the illness clinically manifests itself. This strategy would give a real opportunity to secure preventive measures whose personalization could have a significantly positive influence on demographics. NIH has added PPPM as a model to a list of the 5 most prioritized branches of in 21st century. PPPM is also being actively supported and promoted by the European Commission, FDA, and Center for Disease Control in Atlanta. PPPM as the big change to forecast is rooted in a new science, absolutely new science, to be rooted from the achievements of the high-tech platforms, which are being implemented into the daily practice to secure visualizing of lesions that was previously invisible and thus unknown to clinicians. It's just an illustration of those achievements. The platforms regarding to omics technologies are based on quantum, molecular, and cellular issues. It's bioinformatics, which is just a tool and a new philosophy to get the information and data banks processed and presented to the physician. Meanwhile, a combination of those high-tech platforms would make a physician able to predict risks of the chronification and thus of disabling, since chronic diseases are preceded a long subclinical symptom-free phase or a period of latency. It's just an example of the above mentioned. Tissue-derived information being harvested and accumulated from the high-tech protocols would have to be combined with the individual's medical records, family history, and a new one, molecular imaging data, not imaging data, molecular imaging data, to develop personalized and preventive treatments. But now is the whole data bank data set provided by the high-tech technologies could be comprehended? It's a question. It's bioinformatics and cloudy technologies to suit the needs whilst constructing and maintaining unified biobanks and data banks necessary for personal health monitoring whilst keeping in a flash. As a result, the patient becomes a data carrier whilst learning about possible risks of a disorder. And the physician can reasonably select a kind of preventive and personalized protocol rooting from the predictive assays made. Predictive branch is mainly designed to meet the interests of healthy persons. Its purpose being to determine whether susceptibility to a particular disease is increased or not. Preventive branch is aimed at taking measures to avoid development of clinical manifestations rather than cure or treat it on manifestation like is being done now. Personalized medicine proposes the customization of healthcare being tailored to the individual patient. PPPM, thus oriented survey, should be thus based on biomarkers and algorithms to differ essentially from those employed in traditional clinical strategies, namely right now algorithms for predictive and subclinical diagnostics on one hand and algorithms for preventive therapy on the other one. Persons at risks pre-selected would have to be undergone to a multi-step procedure to monitor potential patients, persons at risk predisposed to the disease, and or persons at subclinical stages of the disease. It's just an example. It's with the permission from my colleagues from Johns Hopkins, Stanford, and Duke. Its diagnosis of cancer has been put 2 years before the clinical cancer. It's special cells, cancer-affiliated stem cell technologies. When a person is absolutely healthy, but 100% would be cancer diseased in 2 years. No surgeons needed a special in preventive pharmacogenomics. Implementation of PPPM model would require the adjusted technology armamentarium to proper interpretation of diagnostic and predictive data before the current model physician-patient as a tandem pair could be gradually displaced by a Saint Trinity, medical advisor, healthy persons at risk model. This approach should be based on postulates which will change the incarnate culture and the social mentality. Due to our point, all healthcare professionals of the future should be educated to deliver patient-centered care as members of the interdisciplinary teams, emphasizing evidence-based practice, quality improvement approaches, and bioinformatics. That concerns the need for novel training programs, since the society is in bad need of large-scale dissemination of novel systemic thinking and minding. And upon construction of the new educational platforms, there would be not a primitive physician created, but a medical artist to give the patient a genuine hope to survive, but for a person at risk, a trust for being no diseased. So, the existing medical education would strongly need to be reshuffled to involve along the traditional graduate and postgraduate training, pre-graduate preliminaries to disclose for school children the mysteries of the evidence-based medicine and PPPM as the entity. Is just an example of our jointly set with Germany and the Netherlands experience. We have tried a non-canonical approach towards reshuffling the traditional educational tandem school-university to create a team of talented and gifted teenagers to be engaged into PPPM-related areas. The team has been given a roof under the aegis of European Association of Predictive, Preventive and Personalized Medicine in Brussels and started up to move ahead now. This is the first step, is the British-Russian workshop for school children and young medical students to be held in Lancaster, UK. It's the international PPM research team of youngsters, those who have participated in creating it. This is the first Congress, this is a Congress of Immunology with the team in Glasgow, and this is more important. This is the first Congress on Preventive Medicine, which was held in Bonn in 21st. It's just the team of youngers. This is the major hall of Euro Parliament in Brussels a year ago, where the youngers presented each 2-minute speech. In the center, it's a guy, it's 14 years old, is absolutely familiar with personalized genomics. Some comments. Individuals to be under regular monitoring that helps to detect pathological shifts at subclinical symptom-free stages, have a higher life expectancy and are able-bodied up to 15 years more than those under traditional canonical treatment. This means that the society, due to the data bank coming from the National Institute for Economy of the States, would save more than per person annually. At the community level, the annual savings from each individual may vary from several thousands to several tens and thousands US dollars. As you might feel, besides the scientific and clinical challenges, there are economic hurdles. The opportunity arises for unusual and even extraordinary strategic partnership between governments, academic and business sectors. The healthcare industry, public policy sector and consumer industries will be required to develop new and creative business models and products. The latter means that we are proposing neither separate, big or small, or temporarily exploited projects, nor regular commercial ones. We are applying for the support in systemic approach to overcome the mental barriers and to make the first step into the safe future to come soon. And on behalf of EPMA, Brussels, ISPM, Tokyo, Japan, and PMC Stanford, let me invite our colleagues from Arabic countries and the rest of the world to join the team, which are now being planned to be constructed and to start up the unique project together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this interesting model. Questions for Sergey?
As far as I gathered, you say that it has a preventive, not only preventive function, this kind of fantastic research you're doing. My question is any people among the groups you have mentioned that is studying the way these preliminary symptoms are coming up, say 2 years before, for instance, the illness, can be related to sensors perception, namely what is called the Internet of Things, namely the way symptoms can be related to an automatic perception representation. You understand what I mean? Because, I mean, the point is, if we have to check symptoms, how are these symptoms, not only with clinical, traditional clinical